with the population like we have of what is it now? 7 billion and something? I mean, with the population size, whatever it is it at like 8 now? I don't know. But whatever it is, it's a lot of people. Okay, you feel like the AI would do population balancing by controlling births. How is that gonna work though? Who's gonna agree to that? Who's gonna agree to that though? It does, I mean, that's like, okay, the first step is make everyone smarter. And how would you see everybody getting smarter? What? Narrowing. I guess the point, okay, so the point you're bringing up when you say the first step would to be make everybody smarter. This reminds me of Doug Casey when he says, like, if he could change one thing, if he could just wave a magic wand and change one thing, you would change the fact that people intrinsically have this tendency to want to like take what other people have when they see that the other person has something. So, like, the biggest problem that needs to be solved is probably within humans. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, even if you took it, this comes back to like what I was saying. Like, even if you took, let's say you managed to get 90% of the population where it no longer like over reproduces, but there was some 10%, even 1%. Let's say you got it to 99% conformance with some kind of international reproduction law. But let's say there's 1% that doesn't follow it. Well, guess what's going to take over the whole population? It's the 1% that doesn't follow it. So it seems unlikely to me that something like that would actually work. Now, I could see where maybe, I mean, I could see a world where it's like there's, they, people could basically come to the conclusion that they can't have welfare states anymore because they could just observe that everything's getting so screwed up that they can't do it anymore, and they have to just make people responsible for their own outcomes in life, no matter how good or bad it actually is, because that would be one way to that's how nature controls population, and that's how it would be controlled normally if you didn't have like welfare state type things in place. Um, I don't know. It's all relative, right? What's foreign? It's literally all relative, whatever foreign is. But you would have to do, okay, so the comment says you would have to do embryo selection, screen for inherited diseases, cure acquired illnesses, people. warm to AI and medical interventions, then use embryo selection for intelligence, then use CRISPR. Starting to sound this is getting really this is getting Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, almost exactly. Okay, we could provide incentives for people to not reproduce money or whatever. That was a comment from a non-51. We could provide incentives for people to not reproduce. Strangely, I've heard stories that that's already going on, by the way. PS says non-49, you are evil. Okay. Non-46, Chinese will do it if we don't. Non-46. Um, somebody's gonna do it, whether it's the Chinese or not, it's like whatever, somebody's gonna do things that create somebody's gonna create powerful things one way or another. And if one person doesn't create the powerful thing, then somebody else will create the powerful thing and use it as they wish, potentially to take stuff over. So it's like once guns were created, guns never went away. But also, more benign and useful things like computers, once computers are invented, they likely won't go away either. So I don't know. I'm not trying to paint like a super bad picture or a super good picture. I think the truth lies somewhere in between. I just think it's gonna get weird. There is okay, comments. There is that movie about a society where you're assigned a place in the hierarchy based on yeah, it's Gattaca. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting take, and it's got some there really are laws like put in place to try to stop that scenario from happening. Like you're not allowed to I mean, as far as I know, our government has made it such that you're not allowed to use DNA as a selection process for jobs to try to stop that final outcome from happening. Even though you could use it. I'm not saying you should use it. I'm just saying you could use it. It would be predictive, at least somewhat, but like the movie says, it wouldn't be fair to the person who just it wouldn't be fair to a person that like went beyond their DNA's potential, which is certainly possible, like the guy did in the movie, basically. So it's really going on beyond the DNA's expected potential because it's not like, well, it's the potential is not a hard limit. Yeah. I just think it's going to get weird because we've been stuck with the human brain being the most capable computational thing on the planet. These little brains we keep in our head, most sophisticated computers. on the planet, and each of us has one that we can use. This was a very democratic phase of development because of that. But that phase is likely it's likely not going to really be like that. I mean, we're going to have super intelligences doing stuff. There could be situations where like one person has control of a whole robotic army and it's all locked down by code. It doesn't even have to be a person. The robotic army obviously could just have its own, objective. But the other thing is you could just have one person that has like the code to control the whole robotic army, which could be an entire national defense force. So you could have a true dictator. Because right now there's no such thing as a real dictator. The dictator has to convince the people somehow to support him as the dictator. If they don't, he's dead. Like the next day, he's dead. He's got people around him all the time. But with just a bunch of programmed robots, I mean, you wouldn't even have to have a single human friend on the planet, and you could take over like an entire nation just by having the codes. So, I mean, other than the fact that like I mean, the presidents that can launch nukes are kind of being put in this position a little bit, but even then, I think there's a little bit of a check and balance on launching nukes. They're just like willy-nilly launch the nukes. But if it's all machines, just turtles all the way down, then just one person could just do whatever. If that person managed to get control of the machine. Like, for example, you know, just think about it, millions of humanoid robots made by one company. And of course, there would be a back door where potentially one person could just take control of all the humanoid robots simultaneously. Comment is maybe some technology like EMP weapons come along that will balance the scales again. Well, Non 46 says if AI is used immediately to develop weapons instead of controlled fusion for sustainable energy, then humans deserve to die. I wouldn't say that though. I wouldn't be so quick to say that because that's probably gonna AI probably will be used to develop weapons before sustainable energy. I mean, dude, AI already is being used in weapons, just like an EMP bomb. Next comment is just like an EMP bomb that disables all electronics. Yeah, I don't know how that. You know what the AI could do to circumvent that is build biological. Now that's when it would get really freaky, man. Recognizing the threat, think of this as a science fiction movie. Recognizing the threat of EMPs, the AI robots build biological systems to advance their agenda. So yeah, then you've got like non-human biological soldiers built by robots to go along with the robots. Sounds even worse. I don't think there's like a one catch-all kind of thing. It's gonna pop up, but it's just gonna be a continued struggle with different intelligences and expressed in different ways. And yeah, I agree we need to spread out to different planets because it's gonna be such a mess. You could, it's just we're gonna need a bigger canvas to paint on because the paint's gonna get weird. You need more separation between these societies. Right now, you press a few buttons and you got a major problem. Well, first it's going to be, you know, at first nobody, only few. It's not nobody. At first, people will want to go, but only certain people will want to go. Like when it's a one-way trip to Mars, only certain people are going to want to do that. Countries and separate. Eth- uh, all right, so we got the common is that is why countries and separateness exist because it's an immunity, separate genetic clusters, I would say. Yeah, see, like on our planet as it is, you got these different groups of people with different genetics, and that does make the whole thing a lot more resilient. And since it used to be that people couldn't travel across the whole globe like it was nothing, like they can now. So you really need to go into space to get some separation. The speed of light is a good barrier. Nothing can exceed the speed of light. So if you have separation, you can at least guarantee that it won't travel faster than the speed of light. And that gives you something. What is going on? Eric Weinstein says, assume a traversable universe as his tagline. I don't think our universe is traversable, though. If it was, it'd probably be way messed up. Is that guy? I think I know that. Okay, let me make sure I know who you're talking about. Yeah, this guy. I mean, he makes interesting conversations. I wouldn't mind just like chatting with this guy, honestly, just because his conversations are interesting. But he seems to think that you can travel. He seems to think the warp drive is like right around the corner, and I'm not really seeing that. Question: what do you think about people who believe that we are on a flat Earth? Eric Weinstein. Not sure. Oh, well, maybe I might. I actually like. I mean, I used to listen to the Ancient Aliens series. I mean, I pretty much binge watched that whole thing or binge. I really like listened to it, some of it without really watching it as background or whatever, but watch some of but it was actually quite entertaining. I didn't believe like any of the claims that they made um that were, there unless they were just stuff that was like not, if they claimed something that was like not if it did not have to do with aliens or whatever, then I might buy it. I don't know. There might be something in there that was actually accurate. I'm not sure. But I'm just saying all of the claims that they made that were actually substantial about aliens and stuff, I don't believe any of it at all. I mean, it seems to be all completely wrong. But just listening to them talk and construct this whole story, um, it is pretty fun. I just look at it as fiction, but also it's almost better than fiction because I feel like some of these people actually believe it. So it's just interesting to see what people believe. I mean, I don't forget that you could deep breathe the human. Yes. It's not that you can actually, well, you can kind of do it now, but you won't survive it. I mean, you can do a good preservation now, but you can't survive it. Yeah, but the generational thing is easier. That's why I was saying that because you don't have to achieve cryopreservation. I mean, even if you did cryopreservation, to me, that's not even a really great plan because it's so sensitive to things going wrong. It's almost I'd rather have a living ship with living people on it that can check everything out constantly and make sure everything's going okay the whole time. Have you ever watched those movies where they're all in cryostasis and then they wake up and some way messed up? Yeah. Hello. I actually don't think so. Well, okay. The trade-off is yes, I guess less food that you have to bring and stuff like that, if that's what you mean. But I'm just saying, like, with my experience with robots and stuff like that, trying to keep technology running for a long time, I mean, 100 years? I mean, dude, are you gonna test your cryo chamber to make sure it works for 100 years? You'd have to run it for 100 years to test it, stuff like that. It just seems like you'd be a lot better off just solving the problem of keeping a population alive. Put the ship in a cryo chamber during the journey. Yeah, that's actually about right. Good, good way to think about it. Many things have run for 100 years without having tested them for 100 years. Tell me what, because I want to know. Yeah, I mean, tell me what machine has run for 100 years without maintenance. I guess something like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe something like a bell might work for 100 years. I don't know because it's very simple and there's only a few parts there, but my car does not work for 100 years. Yeah. Yeah. They need work. I don't reveal my time zone, but I can tell you that it is nighttime. It's very dark outside. I just have a good light in here. So with kind of deep sleep technology, Coma would reduce the amount of cargo to a more manageable level. Maybe. The thing is, I mean, I think I'm not ruling that out as a technology that will be used. I just think if I had to play a betting game, my guess would be the regular generational ship will be the first because it doesn't require any extra technology beyond what we currently have. The going to sleep thing would be more like once we were more advanced as a species, then we could say, okay, you might just decide, look, since I'm going to shoot these things out and it's going to take like 10,000 years to reach the destination, and I don't want the people to have that experience of traveling for 10,000 years, then I'm going to just put them to sleep. But I mean, I think The first ones will not be that. They will just be moving colonies, just like we are on this planet right now. We are a planetary ship that's generational. Let's put a little rocket engine on the planet. Send Earth. That would be catastrophic. I mean, if the rocket was carefully aimed, it would just slowly throw Earth off of its orbit ever so slightly, ever so slightly. That's like the somebody published a paper talking about the stability of the planets in our solar system, and there is like a small chance. There's a small chance that eventually Jupiter will throw the whole thing off, and all the planets will get screwed up. But the good thing is, even if it does happen, we'll have plenty of time to notice it before it actually destroys our planet.